After just over a year in office, how's Charlotte's new mayor doing? What's her biggest controversy, her proudest accomplishment, and what's next on her agenda? They're the questions that could affect all of us, and tonight we get some of the answers. Carolina Impact's Jeff Saunier sits down with Mayor Vi Lyles one-on-one at the Government Center for a look back at year one, a look ahead to year two, and maybe beyond.
Yeah, Vi Lyles is the new Charlotte mayor, who's not really that new here at the Government Center, not when it comes to knowing the city's history, knowing the city's problems, and in particular knowing who to call and hopefully how to get things done here.
We have a bright future ahead, and I am proud to be your mayor.
Vi Lyles' first year leading the city comes after more than 30 years serving the city, working with 10 previous mayors on the Charlotte City Council, and before that on the city staff. First mayor you worked under as a staffer, who was that?
John Belk. He could always tell a great story. And, telling a story is what people remember.
You're in charge of a different kind of city than back in the days of John Belk or Harvey Gantt, or even more recently than that. It's a lot more diverse. It's a lot more polarized.
Oh, absolutely. I had a meeting with Harvey Gantt, and I said one of my goals is to be what you did. Harvey could listen to 11 different opinions, and at the end of it, he could make everybody feel like the decision was theirs. Yes, you have to be mayor, and you have to make tough decisions, but you have to really care about the community. So the time that you spend outside of this office is to work with everyone to make sure that they understand.
I humbly and gratefully accept your nomination for the presidency of the United States.
Not everybody understands one of Mayor Lyles' early decisions to push hard for Charlotte to host next year's Republican National Convention, even as Democrats who supported Lyles for mayor were pushing back.
We have a moral obligation to say no.
I do want Charlotte to host a Republican National Convention someday. I do not want that day to be in the summer of 2020. Thank you.
You managed to steer clear of most controversy in your first year as mayor, but probably the biggest controversy was with your own party, with the whole RNC.
Being trusted and authentic in yourself as in this job is very, very important. We've told people that we would be willing to do this, and we were doing it for the right reasons. Those reasons were to showcase Charlotte's values, our diversity, our ability to welcome people with different opinions. Let's go forward. I think that what I didn't realize was the number of people that really weren't around for the Democratic convention. Didn't see the economic impact, didn't see people working and making twice as much as they had made in a week, doing that kind of thing.
They only saw the politics, they didn't see the benefits.
I think that they saw the benefits, but they weren't as real. When you've gone through it, you see that reality.
Here's another reality that Lyles saw as a city council member, that she inherited as mayor. Protests in the streets about the police and the problems facing Charlotte's lowest income neighborhoods, and mostly about not being heard.
I try not to judge, and I try not to say, I'm here to tell you something that you have to believe. What I'm here to do is to share the information that we know. And I believe that's the only way our community is going to come together. You have got to have relationships in this community that you can call and you can say, this is what we know so far. I never say this is what we know, period.
What Lyles heard during those protests, and what she still hears today as mayor, is that Charlotte's prosperity is out of reach for many citizens, especially when it comes to finding good jobs, or good schools, or an affordable place to live. Lyles says $50 million in new city funding for more housing is just a start.
You know, this housing has been something that's very, very important to me, but I've worked on it for a very long time. And sometimes you can kind of get stuck in that place. The thing that I am most proud of is that when we were talking about our housing referendum last year, I knew that wasn't enough to really move the ball. The work with our private sector community to say we will support you in this, I believe that is the achievement that I'm most proud of. A step forward, let's put it that way. This is a step forward because we are working with people that are engaged. Now, it always helps that we're in a good economy right now, that our city is growing and people want to be a part of that growth. They want to see that energy. They want to see the opportunity to do something that's significant.
You've got a lot of new council members serving, which can be both positive and negative when when you're trying to get things done.
I think what you're seeing is the willingness to talk about what we aren't doing instead of what we are doing. And so the idea that council members advocate for what's not happening, that's a menu. Before, it was kind of like, here's your dinner, you eat what's on the plate. And that's not the case anymore. You have choices, and this community is making those choices. And if we can talk about that in the community, that's if the community supports us, then we will be able to figure out how to pay for it. And if we can get those folks into the economy, and they can have a family and a safe place to live, and their kids can go to good schools, that's all we all want. That's what I want for my grandchildren, and I want for every child in this community.
So your biggest accomplishment is also, I guess, your biggest piece of unfinished business.
It is. We've got a lot to do, but I feel that the momentum in this city is very positive. I'm not out front in front of it. I'm just pushing behind every day.